So I had this bright idea while watching a walkthrough of Spider-Man 2 that I should probably make a tier list of every region in Genshin Impact. Now, I know this is kind of weird, but I've never done a tier list, and something inside of me really wanted to make this one, since it's actually an interesting topic to talk about. However, I'm gonna say that all of these are my opinions, so it does not have to match with your favorite region, and you could love a favorite region that's not my favorite region. You know how opinions work basically. But I'd be happy to know what your favorite region is, so let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna rank every region that's available in Genshin Impact right now, not the time limited ones, because many players haven't experienced them, like the 1.6 version Golden Archipelago. Like, I haven't done that. And then there's the other version of the Golden Archipelago with the Imanarchite and all. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about what's in the game. Now, I'm going to start from the bottom. At number 6, which I think there are a total of 6 regions. In number 6, it's in Cania. Like, it's probably the weakest region in the entire game, apart from that bishop boss, which you only need for, I think, Shenhe and Yaimiko. It's actually there's not much to do in there. Like, you have this amazing environment, you have a good lore. Like, the lore in that region is mind-blowing, and it connects with Kokumi's character as well. But I don't know, for some reason I just don't find that region captivating. Like, when it came out, it was amazing, but I think it took me like 15 days to reach 95 plus exploration, and then I probably haven't touched it ever since then. I mean, there's no reason to go back to it, especially after you've gotten Shenhe and Yaimiko and you've built them, so there's no reason to fight the boss. And since there's no artifact domain there's no enemies exclusive to that region, just kind of forget about it. So that's why I'm gonna rate Incania as probably my least favorite region in the game. At 5th, it's gonna be the underground Gasm, because it suffers the same problems that Incania has. There's only one boss, but the good thing about the Gasm underground region is you have that tree type thing. You have that 6 levels of stuff where you get primogens. Now, I'm not sure if Incania had that, but Gasm has it, and somehow the Gasm felt more mysterious and more interesting to explore compared to the floating lands in Inazuma. You have those new mechanisms, right? Like the gooey liquid, and the new types of enemies that were introduced there with the, what was it called, the Kandria ones, and we had Dainsliff, so obviously it's an amazing region but in itself. However, it suffers the same fate. I'm not talking about the overworld Gasm, because that comes into liyue, and liyue is placed much higher than the Gasm. So I'm gonna rate the Gasm as number 5, because similar to Incania, and you just don't have a reason to go back to it after you've explored it in its entirety. Like, while in Cania you can click photos, in the Gasm it's basically a cave, so you can probably go into any other cave and click something. So it's not that unique, except for that purple crystal area. That's a unique place. Now, coming to the 4th one. Now, this is going to be difficult because we're coming into the regions now, the actual countries of Teyvat. But for the 4th one, I'm going to say it's probably Mondstadt, because wait, scratch that number. Incania is 7th, Gasm is 6th, Mondstadt is 5th. Yeah, because I forgot that Fontaine is actually a thing right now. Alright, so Mondstadt 5th, it's Mondstadt, because you see, we got introduced to Genshin with Mondstadt, and Mondstadt has a really special place in all of our hearts. I'm sure. Like, if Mondstadt wasn't beautiful, I'm 110% sure that many of the players would have left the game immediately. Like, imagine if you started the game with a region like in Cania where you had nothing to do. So like, you would have immediately left it. Like, it's pointless to play this game. But Mondstadt captured our hearts. It captured the vibe of the game, being a fantasy game, capturing that unique fantasy element that other RPG fantasy games have. Then you had the dragons, then you had the prologue mission, the grasslands, the mountains, that amazing dragon spine area. So Mondstadt really captured our heart, and you have that castle city, Mondstadt City. But why I rate it so low is not because I don't hate it, but because other regions that have come after it have just exceeded it. Like, Mondstadt really needs an up-to-date upgrade. Like, it needs to catch up, because future regions that have released right now, take for example Sumeru and Fontaine, they blow Mondstadt out of the park. Like, Mondstadt does not stand a chance against those regions. So while Mondstadt is your cozy home that whenever you go back to, you always feel comfy and homely, but yeah, I'm gonna rate it as the 5th most favorite region of mine. Well, coming to 4th, it's Liyue. Now, I know Liyue might be a favorite of many people. It's got amazing characters, but I'm not talking about the characters in this one. It's on the region itself. Now, why I would rate Liyue as 4th is because, honestly, I hate the mountains. Like, the amount of times I've had to climb a mountain and I fell because I lacked the stamina then. It was insane. It was rough. And the other thing is that Liyue does not have that many, what should I say, towns or like populous areas, if you know. Like, imagine this, you have your village at the top, I don't remember the name, and then you have Liyue Harbor at the bottom. That's about it. The middle of it, you have that hotel, and yeah, so I mean, it's very divided. Like, you see, it's one's on the top right of the corner, one's in the middle, and one's in the bottom left. So it feels very far off. It's an expansive area, obviously, and it's a huge country. I think it's the 2nd largest region in Teyvat. But I feel Liyue has to expand to get better. Like, I know there are 2 to 3 regions still unreleased. The regions connecting to Fontaine directly, with the Chenyu Whale part and the Chui, some village thing where you get the tea leaves. So I'm sure that Liyue has more expansion, like the Gasm where they expanded upon. I'm pretty sure Liyue is going to get an upgrade sometime soon. But right now, I don't know, I just don't connect with it. And also the music, whenever you listen to it, you always remember the Chi Chi song. And oh my god, I don't want to. That gives me PTSD. I mean, I've lost 50-50 to Chi Chi 3 times. I have her at C2 right now. So it hurts. But all in all, Liyue is a great place. I would suggest that Liyue Harbor is probably my favorite area in the entire region, simply because it reflects that proper harbor vibe and it gives the feel of a city. My most hated spot is probably the mountains, where you had to farm for, what was that stone that Zhongli needs? An amber. I had to farm it for Zhongli and I had to farm it for Kaching, and it is hell. And I don't look up at guides or anything, so I just go exploration time. It's kind of fun that way to farm for characters, but then it also takes a lot of time, which I'm okay with because I don't want to max out my characters immediately. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to play Liyue at 4th. 3rd is going to be interesting. It's actually Fontaine. Now, I know Fontaine recently released and we still have another region that's about to come out in 4.2, plus maybe we could get other expansions like we got in Liyue or Sumeru. So yeah, there's that. But for Fontaine, I think that it's just an extension of Mondstadt. Like, you see, Mondstadt was inspired by Germany, I think, Central Europe, I'm going to place it. Now, Fontaine is inspired by, I'm assuming, France and the UK because of some accents and some words. However, it honestly just feels like an extended part of Mondstadt, like a cousin to Mondstadt. So when you enter Fontaine, you get that same vibe that you got from Mondstadt, except you have those beautiful mountains, you have the underwater exploration stuff, you have those futuristic cities that you won't see anywhere in Teyvat. You have the aquabus, you have Melusines, you have the Fortress of Meripede, and you have these grand buildings like the Opera Epiclese, the Palais Marmonia, and I mean the Court of Fontaine is such a detailed city as well. You have those underground caves, you have those underwater exploration, and it just fascinates you. But I would still rate it at number 3 because we still have more Fontaine coming, so I don't want to place it at the top of it just because it came out recently and oh my god, it's giving us a lot of primogen, so it's the best region ever. No. I mean, the music is amazing, but it still doesn't capture my heart like the top 2 regions do. So moving on to number 2. Second is Inazuma. Why? Because the faintest memory that I have of me starting Genshin, I started Genshin with the version 1.2 patch. I made my account in the version 1.2 patch, which had probably Lantern Rite in it. I think Hu Tao's banner was running, I didn't get her. But I left the game after 15 or so days, so like when I entered the Dragon Spine area. So like I played a little bit over there, but I then stopped the game. I came back to the game in September, right around when Raiden Shogun released and Inazuma was in full spring. And most of my memories are of Inazuma. I don't remember liyue that much. I don't even remember the story in detail. But Inazuma really has settled in my mind. And why I love that is because when I entered it, you're entering a prison country. You're entering something that's been isolated, that's been away from the world. So it's like a secluded piece of land. And you have these people living there who are disconnected with the world, who have no idea what's going on out there, who are just stuck in their internal civil war. And the difficulty bump was insane. Like up till liyue, I played with 4 characters, namely the Animo Traveler, Lisa, Noelle, and Rosaria. Inazuma forced me to build another team. Not gonna lie, not the Spiral Abyss, Inazuma. I built Barbara to tackle the Rift Hounds, now that Barbara is one of my favorite 4-star characters. It's an insane thing why I built her. But you had to tackle the Rift Hounds because Noelle's heals weren't keeping up. The reason why I love Inazuma is because you have those separate islands. You have 4 different islands. You have the Narukami Island with the shrine, the Grand Narukami Shrine. You have Inazuma City over there, Tenshikaku. The main story of Inazuma takes place on that island. Then you have Yashiori Island, where you have that insane quest, like Thunderstorm quest, where you have to close the gorge, and it was just a fun quest. And you have thunderstorms here and there. Actually, it was because of that thunderstorm that I think I got the Zeus achievement, where you get struck by lightning. I mean, after that you have Watatsumi Island, which is the land of Sangonmi Kokomi, and that's the most beautiful island in Inazuma, not gonna lie, because the whole seashell shape and the song of pearls and the nice music accompanying it, the entirety It's just a beautiful island. It's a peaceful island. Then you have Surumi Island, which was the fog island. The Siri Island, where you have the Electro Oceanid and the talking cat. But you see, in Inazuma, each island feels different. Like, it's not just one whole connected part. It's a group of islands that are called Inazuma, but each island feels different. Like if the Grand Narukami Shrine Island, Narukami Island, which honestly feels like Inazuma. Then you have all these other islands that do not feel like it. They feel like they're separate country. It's still part of the entire region. Why I'm fond of it is because all of these islands are very picturesque, and the world quests were absolutely amazing. Like I remember the Gorge quest was amazing. We had that Fontaine guy helping us with his creations. The Surumi Island quest with the fog and all, that was really heartbreaking, I would say, because that little boy that we had who was friends with the bird over there. I don't know, it's been so long since I played it, but that was a really touching quest. Then we have the Encanamia quest that was there. You have a good amount of world quest in Inazuma, and I think that's what compensated for the very lackluster Archon quest that we had. But I'd say Inazuma is a strong contender for one of my favorite regions. The music is amazing. It actually feels like a depressed land. Like it feels like you shouldn't be happy over here, because this is not a happy place. You have to feel sad, and I think that nails it. Now, number one, which you've already probably guessed by now through the process of elimination, and I'm also very biased for this, but it's Samaru. Now, the reason being is that, well, I'm Indian, and Samaru is inspired by India. Like, you have butter chicken there, right? You have tandoori chicken, you have pani puri, you have all these Indian dishes, you have, the culture, you can see it. You have the music of Inazuma is inspired by Indian instruments. The names, like the Aranara names, the forest names, you can, if you know Hindi, you would know it. Like the Vidya forest is like, if you take out the part, you have Vidya, and Vidya means knowledge, so it's like knowledge forest. Or then you have the Ara Naras, where if you take out the Ara, Nara means human, so Ara is just like a seed people or something. It's actually pretty amazing. The Ara Nara quest was actually one of my favorite world quests in the entire game, because it had so many Indian names associated with it, and it just made me feel happy. Sumeru also, like Potomus's music. That music has a really strong use of tabla, and it's one of my favorite regions. It's one of my favorite cities so far, because that music it's so amazing to hear it. Then we have the academia, Sumeru scholars, the story, the Sumeru city. We have the deserts, all those deserts. And now I know many people hate the desert, but personally, I've lived in a desert area. Like, I was born in Dubai, so I lived there for 10 years. I know what a desert looks like. I went to school, I saw the desert on the way. It's barren land. It's just sand everywhere. There's no city or grasses or trees. You see, it's just sand and a bit of cactus here and there. So when the desert area released in Sumeru, I was really amazed by how accurate it represented a desert. Like, that land should be barren. It should make you feel like you're lost, and you find an oasis here or there, but that's about it. Because in the end, the desert is just an expansive stretch of land covered with sand. You have sandstorms and such, but that's it. Now, the real issue with Sumeru was that underground traveling thing. I know it was a real pain, and I also faced it Now, I'm actually kind of envious of people starting right now because they'll have the underground map, which we didn't have. So, but the music was amazing, and the regions actually felt really alive. I mean, the rainforest area is amazing. The lush green forest, the Aranara village, Wanrana. Then you have the old Wanrana. You have the underground areas of the rainforest. You have the sandstorm area, the last desert expansion area with the buddies, and it just captures your, like, I may be biased here, obviously I'm biased, but Samaru is like one of my favorite regions so far because it connected with me in a way no other region ever has connected. Like, I played through Mondstadt, I played through liyue, I played through Inazuma, I'm playing through Fontaine right now, but that connection that I had with Samaru, like, whenever I still go there and listen to the music or just roam around my few regions that are 98% completed and 100% completed, I just like it because it's just comforting. The characters also from Samaru were very comforting, and I've actually kind of bonded with them so much that it's impossible to imagine not having them in the game or not having them on my team. Like, I can't play right now without Nahida in any Spiral Abyss run, or Alhaitham, or Nilu, like even Dea for that matter. So, I mean, I know you might have a different opinion on the region, but I feel Sumeru is probably one of the best regions that Genshin Impact has released, and I don't think any region can top that. I mean, at least until Conria, because maybe Conria is a whole different place where you have this, where you're presented with an illusion of what it was, and then you realize what it has become. That might be a good way to introduce Conria, but right now, and I think up till there's Naya, I don't think Sumeru will be top as personally my favorite region, because the connection that I have with Sumeru is special. Now, you might have a connection with some other region, so let me know in the comments below. I'm willing to hear it. And if you like this video, which I'm probably going to edit some bits out, I'm going to probably add some video now because I'm just speaking to thin air. Please subscribe to support me. And yeah, please keep enjoying Genshin Impact. I'm no spokesperson, I'm just a creator here, just sending my opinions here and there. But have a great day. Goodbye.